unusually still that day, a stillness so profound you could hear the faint hum of appliances and the distant chirping of birds outside. Sitting alone in the living room, I absently flipped through a magazine I had no interest in reading. My husband was out of town again, immersed in work as always. I wasn't upset, this had become routine, but the emptiness he left behind felt sharper this time. I glanced at my phone, hoping for a message or call. Nothing. The silence seemed to amplify the monotony of my life, wrapping around me like an invisible cage. I loved my husband, or at least, I told myself I did. But over time, passion had dissolved into comfort, and comfort had eroded into complacency. A sudden sound, a car door slamming, broke through my thoughts. I peeked out the window to see Alex, my nephew by marriage, walking toward the house. He was my husband's younger brother's son, though with our small age gap, he felt more like a distant cousin. Alex was in his early 20s, confident, and carried an effortless charm. Before he could knock, I opened the door. "Hey, Alex. What brings you here?" I asked, masking my surprise with a smile. "Uncle asked me to pick up some documents he left," he replied, grinning. "Hope it's not a bad time." "Not at all. Come in," I said, stepping aside. As he entered, his energy seemed to fill the room, a stark contrast to the quiet stillness I'd been steeped in. He tossed his bag onto the couch and glanced around. "Nice place as always. You've got great taste, aunt." I chuckled, brushing off the compliment. "Flattery won't save you if you're in trouble." "What documents are you looking for?" "Something about property papers," he said, heading toward the study. As Alex disappeared into the room, I couldn't help but notice how different he was from my husband, spontaneous, self-assured, and magnetic. I shook the thought away, embarrassed at myself. When Alex returned, papers in hand, I noticed a tattoo on his forearm I hadn't seen before. He caught me staring and smirked. "You like it?" "It's interesting," I replied, feeling flustered. We ended up sitting and talking, more than we ever had before. His stories were lively, full of humor and adventure, a refreshing escape from the monotony I had grown used to. His laughter was contagious, his presence magnetic. For a while, it was just the two of us, lost in an easy connection that felt strangely new. Alex leaned back, his eyes lingering on mine just a little too long as he spoke. There was something disarming about the way he listened, making me feel seen in a way I hadn't in years. At one point, our hands brushed as he reached for a glass of water. The contact was fleeting but lingered in my mind. I laughed it off, but my cheeks burned. Alex noticed. "Are you okay?" he asked, his tone casual, though his gaze searched mine. "Of course," I replied quickly, standing to create some distance. "It's just warm in here." I busied myself in the kitchen, but I could still feel his presence, the air thick with unspoken tension. When I turned back, he was leaning against the doorway, his confidence undiminished. "You seem different today," he said softly. "Different how?" I asked, trying to sound indifferent. "I don't know. More alive." His words caught me off guard. They felt genuine, and for a moment, I didn't know how to respond. I felt seen, truly seen, for the first time in a long while, and it scared me. "Alex, you should probably go," I said, avoiding his gaze. "Why?" he asked, stepping closer. "Am I making you uncomfortable?" "No, it's not that," I stammered. Just what?" he pressed, his eyes locking onto mine. I didn't have an answer, or maybe I did, but I couldn't say it aloud. The air between us felt charged, heavy with unsaid words and unacknowledged feelings. Before the tension could escalate further, the sound of the front door opening shattered the moment. My nephew Ryan stepped inside, his expression shifting between confusion and suspicion. "Hey," Ryan said slowly, his eyes darting between us. "Am I interrupting something?" "No, of course not," I said, forcing a laugh that even I didn't believe. "Alex was just leaving." Alex played it cool, grabbing his bag. "Yeah, just picking up some papers for Uncle." Ryan raised an eyebrow, unconvinced. "Funny, Uncle asked me to come pick up those same papers." My stomach churned. The excuse Alex had used to visit was now unraveling. "There's been a misunderstanding," I said quickly. "Alex already has them." You don't need to be here. Ryan didn't budge, his eyes narrowing. Odd he didn't mention you'd be here, Alex. Guess that slipped your mind? Alex shrugged. Didn't think it mattered. We were just catching up. Ryan's gaze lingered on me a moment too long before he turned to leave, the door clicking shut behind him. The silence that followed was suffocating. Alex looked at me, his expression unreadable.